Welcome back. New patch means new tier list, and this time there is a lot more changes than what we're used to. So hope you enjoy. Okay, to start off us, Bishop. Bishop got buffed. Now, I was of the train of thought that Bishop was fine overall. We had a Bishop meta like a little bit ago, like a month or two ago. And the reason why Bishop kind of got out of the meta was not because she got nerfed, but rather other hunters just became stronger, so you just got other values. But this time, it seemed like they wanted to buff her, and her RMB is crazy now. They also buffed her LMB damage. I think that the poke potential and carry potential of Bishop now, and also mobility that you can use with RMB, it's kind of crazy. I think she's honestly up in the S tier right now. I think Bishop is in a great spot, so all Bishop enjoyers are really happy now by how strong she is. Now with Brawl, I thought he was like in a fine spot with his nerfs, but they decided let's nerf him even more. Yeah, guys, like now we don't have to talk about Brawl anymore. It's fine. Let's focus about the broken hunters. We'll get back to Christa. But like Brawl, like he's still mobile, but they nerfed his mobility. They nerfed more of his damage on RMB, so he's quite a lot weaker than he used to be. So even worse than what he was before. Then over to Celeste, no changes. So like she's still in a similar spot, rather than like she's less prior because other hunters are just better than her right now. I would say that she is probably a top B tier right now. I'm pretty sure I have the like bottom A tier last. Not be like she's not B just because like she's worse by any means, but just so many more hunters that are more worth. So this goes more on the priority level also of what you want to be trying to look for. So power level wise, she's basically the same. For Eluna, pretty much the same. I think it's a waste of a hunter at the moment. Bottom of C tier. I think her kit is bad. Again, the better you get at the game, the less Eluna you will see because it's easier and easier to counter her. The same stuff. Felix is struggling more. Now, he hasn't gotten any changes, but the reason why I'm saying he's struggling more is because the hunters that are more valuable counter him really well. Bishop, etc. will never get hit by Felix realistically. We'll also get to Christa. We'll get there. Also, like there are just a lot more hunters that are really good at dealing with Felix. So he's just struggling at the moment. His stats are decent, but then again, he's so easy to see coming. He needs to be extremely creative, and it's hard to get onto enemies to actually get that value. So I do think Felix in the rough spots. Ghost got like a mini buff, like a mini buff. Doesn't really change much about him. I would say his damage outputs are still very high. I think he's a good hunter. I would probably have him up in A tier still, like more on the bottom side. We'll get to that, but he's a very solid hunter, deals a lot of damage. He might be harder to pick up than others because of the lack of mobility, but if you know how to play him, I think you get a lot of value out of it. Hudson, as we talked about last time, got slightly better, not too much, but like I would say he's better overall. He's still like in this spot where he struggles just because of his kit. I think his kit, again, the same with the Luna, it's just bad for carrying, especially for ranked, and I do think he will be struggling a lot. Jin then, on the other hand, he got surprisingly nerfed. I thought they were going to nerf his mobility because that was the main aspect of what people were complaining about. Apparently he's one-shotting people in lower elos, so he got like kind of gutted. Like he lost a lot. He lost damage, he lost mobility, lost cooldown reduction, so Jin got hit pretty hard. I would say that he's probably, just because of how he works, he's still extremely mobile, but there's just a lot of hunters I would rather have than Jin. Brawl is just like a better version than Jin, but yeah, I think they're struggling. There's a lot of like struggling hunters. I'm surprised by the amount of nerfs. Jewel is also like the hunter that I solo put in S tier last time. Jewel got nerfed now. Surprising nerf. I thought that the main problem with Jewel was her shift damage. And if you just get rid of how hard she can absolutely burst somebody, then I think it'll fix a lot of problems. But they nerfed her RMB, her orbs, and they nerfed her ult, so she got hit pretty hard. Can't speak apparently. So this, like, her power level is still decently high. They didn't nerf like her damage output by a lot of means, but she's a lot more harder to play. You need to like rewire your brain because of how timings work now. It is very different to play Jewel if you are used to her. I would say that she's probably a B tier hunter. Her power level are still high, but now also because of her lack of range, she more easily gets countered by the higher tier hunters, basically. But it's interesting. I wonder if we'll still see much Jewel, but recently I haven't really seen any Jewels. Kingpin got a slight nerf on his shift 4 and on his dunk shift animation. That one is a very niche combo that people, like, you don't really look left and right trying to do that niche combo, so it doesn't really affect him. The shift nerf, you feel it a little bit, but like, he's still really good. His kit is still very good for ranked, so I would still have him up here, probably like higher than Ghost as well. He's very solid overall, and it's a kit that has a lot of carry potential in ranked with cheese mechanics, basically. Then over to Myth. Like, Myth, she still hits like a truck. They didn't do anything about her. I would say that also with the LMB changes and late game scaling, that like, he hits like a truck. Like, I've seen some LMB damage, and if you hit your shots with Myth, you're dealing tons of damage. So I would say like Myth is for sure an S tier hunter right now together with Bishop. Oath didn't really get any changes. They just nerfed his movement tech with gliding after hammer swing, which I think is like a fine nerf. He was surprisingly fast with that tech, so I don't mind them nerfing it. That he's still a very good boy overall. Value-wise, because of other hunters, he is decently, like, surprisingly strong against Christa. So that also gives value, because we'll get to Christa in a little bit, but his value goes up because of how good he is against Christa and how he can be helping neutralizing. He is also very good at setup with his CC and being able to just go double tank. Like, most people are going double tank items on Oath, and he still deals a lot of damage. So I would say he's definitely up here now in A tier together with KP and Ghost. Shiv also has benefited from the meta changes because of a lot more like long range squishy members being high up. She being like a burst one-shot potential with the stats and how strong she is benefiting a lot from it. She's a hard hunter, and again, the same concept of how good you are on Shiv makes you get more value on the hunter. But I would say it's easier to get value now because of the typical hunters that you meet. So I'd probably like top of B, maybe consider bottom A, but again, she's very hard hunter to get value out of. Like, you need to be in the danger zone, but I would say like she's higher up than before, so she's rising. Shrike got changed. Now her Scout Hawk now roots, if you want to try to get it, you have a more clear health bar, and the LMB changes makes her leveling more awkward from what I'm getting. I think she doesn't really help her too much. I think she's like not really smiling that much at the moment. I'm sorry, Shrike players. Void, no changes. He's still very, very good. It's just like his kit is struggling. But then again, what I want to say is that since Brawl and Jhin are a lot less valued right now, and farming meta is still prevalent, I would say that he's still very strong. I would probably put him like top of B tier, honestly, just because of how slow the early game is, and it's a lot easier for him to survive in general. So this has been benefiting Void a lot recently, so I do think he's a very happy boy. Even though his power level is probably up in A tier, just his kit makes him harder to play in ranked in general. Then over to Seth. I would say Seth, again, no changes. Really strong hunter. His damage output, healing output, what he can do is still very, very high. I would probably also like surprising good carry potential. I would have him up here. I do think that Seth is an undervalued hunter right now, but for sure something that important to keep an eye on. And I think you can get a lot of carry potential. Like, sure, he's a protector, but he deals damage. He hits like a truck. Bebo, he got like buffed last patch, as we talked about. No changes this patch, but again, also with the stats he get in the late game and being able to just survive through early game a lot easier, he deals a lot of good damage. I would have him up in the A tier. No real changes, but just because of like the power level of his bomb and what he can do in neutral is extremely powerful, so he's up here. And I'm Christa. This must be the most broken hunter I have ever seen in Supervive ever. Like, holy shit. Like, honestly, I need to add the row above. I need to delete this. And we need an S+. S+, I can't even write plus. Because Christa is so unbelievably broken right now. Her damage is insane. Her mobility is insane. Her kiting is insane. Like, I'm not sure what to do with this hunter. Like, everything about this hunter is insane. If you're not having a Christa on your team, I'm not sure what you're doing. Because, like, I am expecting to see Christa on every single team in every single game I am playing. Like, period. She needs a hotfix. Holy. Okay, but that pretty much sums things up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're enjoying the new patch. Again, make sure to keep on liking and subscribing. We have patches every 2 weeks. So a lot of updates, a lot of changes. I really enjoy it. So hope I'll see you guys in the Skylines. Peace out.